Hello and welcome to the Transients and Variable Stars Science Collaboration first software workshop that takes place over 2 days, October 28th and 29th, both days from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern on GatherTown remotely. I want to thank the TVS Software Task Force, which has been the organizer of this workshop, and you can find the name of all the task force participants in this slide, as well as the link to the TVS LSSTC Slack channel where the task force communicates. So today's goal, we have lined up a series of presentations of software at all stages of development, from just a mere concept to something that is ready to be tested. These software ideas and packages were submitted to TVS through a forum that aspired to collect all the existing and planned TVS software. And I should pause for a second to define what we mean by TVS software. At this stage for TVS software, we intend any piece of software that is expected to be of broad relevance and use to the TVS community, to the point that we want to customize it to ensure that it can support the need of TVS during construction phase. And this will include both software that is being offered as an in-kind contribution to Rubin, such that international community can, through the delivery of this software, acquire data rights to Rubin, as well as software that has been created within the right community, the data right communities, or outside of in-kind contributions, but that is envisioned to be needed to turn Rubin data into transients and variable stars science. For this software, we're setting up to provide a network of support that will include point of contacts within the TVS science collaborations that can ensure that the software really truly serves the needs of our community by both being in communication with the developers and providing a set of benchmarks and deliverables that will support the creation and management of the software. We, of course, don't intend this to be a burden, but rather a support to the software developer communities that will ensure that their software will be maximally relevant and therefore will see maximum usage. Today, we'll hear from a number of people that will introduce us to software packages that are being conceptualized and created within TVS. We organize these talks into 4 groups, as you can see on the right. Software that is relevant for light curves, for classification, cross-matching software, software that is image-based or that serves other needs that don't fall easily in any of the above categories. The goal of today is to listen to these presentations and have short Q&A sessions in between the 4 presentation groups that will allow us to set the stage for a more complete discussion and conversation that will happen tomorrow for 1 hour in breakout rooms. So today, if you're a member of the audience, listen to the presentations, identify what software needs that you and your science may have that these software packages can fulfill, and what you need to communicate with the software development teams in order to make that happen. Identify software and software teams that are looking for expertise that you might have, such that you may be interested in working with them, and talk tomorrow in smaller groups, further this conversation to get to a more concrete plan for the software, for TVS software development. Why are we setting up this workshop now? Well, first of all, this is envisioned as the first one of a series of recurrent workshops, which will be tuned to the schedule of the Rubin in-kind contribution software deliverables and reports. The first software in-kind contribution report is due in December of 2021. Therefore, we're setting up this first software workshop today to identify ideal points of contact for each in-kind contribution software development team inside of TVS. But again, the work that we do here is not limited to supporting in-kind contribution software. It is also intended to extend to any software that is envisioned as TVS software. So we want to identify needs of the TVS community, including those that are addressed by existing software or existing software plans, including the brokers, and those that are yet to be addressed. I mentioned brokers, and let me discuss brokers in slightly more detail. So brokers are pieces of software that sit in between the Rubin time domain alert stream and provide the data from the alert streams to the community. So there will be the default way in which the community of Rubin users will interface with the time domain alerts from Rubin. A number of software packages have been under construction and are in fact deployed already on precursor surveys of LSST, and a set of softwares have been selected as the official Rubin Observatory softwares, brokers that will receive the full stream of alerts from Rubin, or that will receive the downstream alert from the full stream softwares and further augmented and delivered to specific communities. While today we're not going to talk about brokers in the sense that we don't have any presentations about these pieces of softwares, largely because these pieces of softwares have been developed for some time and presented in a number of settings, including Rubin workshops and presentations. You have some links up in the slides to check out some of this material. We did invite the broker representatives from each of the broker teams, and we're very grateful for their presence so that they can listen to the software developers and the software needs of TVS and help us identify which ones of those needs are already taken care of by the brokers and how the brokers can best interact with the rest of the software that is being built for TVS. So if you are a broker representative here, your job today is to understand what are the needs that you can fulfill and what are the most useful conversations that you can have to maximize the interplay of the broker with the other softwares that are being built within TVS. I want to mention a couple of software-related efforts within Rubin, particularly LINK. LINK is a newly funded project. It is a network of software development hubs. The first set of hubs will be at Carnegie Mellon, Northwestern University, University of Arizona, University of Washington. This has been made possible by a donation of the Schmidt Futures Foundation. And these hubs will host software engineers as well as Rubin experts to enable the creation of software that will support the Rubin community and the science collaboration. Not only that, but the LINK organization has provided computational resources to the science collaborations, particularly starting with 3 science collaborations, the TVS, Star Milky Way Local Volume, and Solar System Science collaborations. And Mario Juric has run a workshop just last week about the Jupyter Hub that is being created as an element of LINK and offer to the TVS community and the other science collaboration for use. If you want to catch up on that workshop, there is a link on this slide. Finally, I want to mention the Heisen-Simon Foundation grant that was awarded to 3 science collaboration, TVS, Stars Milky Way Local Volume, and Solar System Science Collaboration. This grant donated $900,000 to the 3 science collaborations for a number of activities, including Kickstarter grants and publication charges, but part of the funds will support software and in particular software training. So we have organized, we've run a survey within the communities, the science collaborations involved to identify what they wanted the training to be devoted to. And I encourage you to stay tuned to hear more about our plans to offer software development specific training to the members of the 3 science collaborations to help them develop optimal software packages. These are just some of the responses from the survey that was run through the science collaboration, some of the ideas that came up, and we're in contact with teams that provide software training for this purpose. So with that, let's begin the round of presentations with the goal of identifying the most useful conversations to be had tomorrow on the Gather Town link.